The penultimate marriage in the latest season of Love is Blind was Devin and Virginia. And of course, the black couple had to have the most dramatic wedding. Honestly, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I was scared. I was scared that my girl Virginia was gonna say yes. And I was praying that Devin was gonna be the one to say no, because I'm thinking, Virginia, she's trying to make this work. You know, she's been being a bit of a pick me. She offered to pay Devin's debt. She's talking about she wants to do the cooking and cleaning. She wants to contribute financially. She wants to be the girl boss. When Devin basically offered her up as a carer for his aging parents, she was like, yeah, I would do that. I was like, oh, no. I was scared because it was giving Tyler Perry struggle love. Then we get to the wedding day. Devin is in good spirits. He's talking about Virginia's my woman. I've never felt like this with another girl. Like, she's going to hold me down. And I was just like, oh no. Because from the trailer, it looked like he was having doubts. But, you know, they've been very crafty with the editing just because, like, the drama has not been given. So they've been crafting to make sure that we stay tuned, innit? But Devin is looking right as rain. Like, he's ready to marry Virginia. So I'm just like, oh no. Then we see Virginia. She also seems very happy, very excited to get married. And everyone is encouraging her on top of that, which I was like, oh, somebody tell her not to marry Devin, please. Everyone's like telling her, Devin loves you. Like, we can't wait for you guys to be together. We're so excited. And I'm just like, no, somebody tell her not to marry him. Then we get to the altar. Devin goes first. Devin says, I do. I said, oh, no. No. This can't be. Because I was thinking, like, this is a sure thing. My girl's gonna get got. Then it comes to Virginia. Virginia's stuttering. I said, oh. Stuttering? Because when people start stuttering, we already know what it is. We know it's coming. I said, and she said, she's not ready. I said, period. I think I was the only one making noise, honey, because everybody was silent. People's mouths were wide open. They were like, oh. I couldn't believe it either. I was like, oh, I really doubted you, Virginia, but you really came through. Devin, sobbing, inconsolable. His meal ticket has slipped from his fingers. He finally had a concrete plan to pay off his debt, and it's just disappeared. Virginia's crying. I'm sorry, I found it funny. Anyone else find it funny? Am I just bad? Did everyone find it sad? Let me know. So yeah, obviously Devin's very upset. His sister, I think his sister was basically like, I don't get these girls. They would be lucky to have him. Oh, delusion. It seems like there's a delusional gene in Devin's family. And also, why is this a regular occurrence, please? You don't get these girls. So there's been multiple girls that have just kicked Devin to the curb. It seems like Devin is a burden on these people's family, because the mum was like, why would she, come to this experiment if she's not ready, blah, 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 blah. And I don't feel like Virginia wasn't ready. She just wasn't ready to get married to Devin. Devin was not the man for her. And you know what? I get it. She's defending her son and whatnot, but it's like very heavy boy mum vibes. But I feel like it seems like Devin's family have been trying to marry him off. Like, it's been a mission for them to marry Devin off. Because Devin is only 28. Like, it really is not that deep for him to, like, be married. Like, fair enough if he was pushing 40. But why are they so desperate for him to get married off? It's weird. Anywho, we get back to Virginia and we find out her reasons why. And basically, her reasons why was that basically she didn't know enough about Devin, and Devin was just being very shady about like fundamental things. And she basically said that she felt like she was protecting him, like particularly like not talking about things like politics. That's one of the things that she names, like politics and religion. And I think she's saying that in a sense like she knows that he probably has like extreme views that is going to make him like be the subject of potentially ridicule on TV. And therefore, because she kind of clocked that, she wouldn't ask him questions because maybe like the producers were there, or maybe they'd have to now, rediscuss it on camera. So she didn't bring it up with him. And I feel like she was walking on eggshells with them. Multiple conversations they had about politics, about religion, about finances. She didn't mention finances, but I feel like finances was a big one that Devin was being like very vague about. And we would see them talking about these things, he would tense up and he would be very anxious. And for me, this is like the actions of somebody who's insecure about these things. He's insecure about his finances. And I think this is what's quite difficult about this show, because I definitely get, like, if you're in a relationship, you want to have your partner's back, right? But at the same time, you're trying to get to know the person. So, you kind of want to know the fundamental things, especially, things like politics and religion as well. And where, your partner stands on key issues. And sometimes men want to like push back on talking about politics, finances, and whatnot. And I think women are kind of socialized not to challenge men as much, or quote unquote nag men. So it's like when you have to kind of ask something more than once because you didn't really get the answer you were looking for the first time. I feel like maybe Virginia might have felt like she was kind of nagging him, so she didn't really want to. But then it's kind of like now you're both walking on eggshells around each other about these key issues. The deadline is fast approaching. You're still feeling uneasy about things. And I think same thing as kind of like Sarah. I think maybe she was, being naive. She was making excuses for Devin, kind of making up a lie in her head like, oh, he's fine. Like, I know him. Like, he's a good guy, even though she doesn't really have the information to back that up. And then when she got to the altar, maybe she was just, seeing her future, and she was like, this is not for me. Another thing she mentioned that contributed was the fact that they didn't explore intimacy together. I'm not sure if they discussed, no sex before marriage, but I don't know, Devin doesn't seem like the type to enforce that. So maybe she kind of just felt like maybe he wasn't physically attracted to her. And I felt like there wasn't really much sexual chemistry between them. Obviously, Virginia, she's a beautiful girl, but was Devin sexually attracted to her? I'm not sure. I feel like he really just saw her as a meal ticket. So I feel like maybe that was a question mark for her, like whether like he's actually sexually attracted to her, or whether he's just like using her. But one wild thing that she revealed is that Devin basically stole their wedding money. One of Devin's relatives sent them both a check for the wedding, like as a gift for both of them to contribute towards the wedding. And he didn't tell Virginia about it. Virginia found out from his mum because the mum assumed that he had told Virginia about it. So on top of all the questionable shit, Devin has already started stealing. Like, I already suspected that he was a grifter, right? But he's already stealing and they're not even married yet. He already stealing. And obviously she said this was a big thing in terms of trust for her. Because, yeah, you're a thief, Devin. At the end of it, Devin basically says that, yes, he's hurt, but he still has love for Virginia, and insinuating that the door is still open. But I don't think the door is still open for Virginia, especially looking at the trailer for the reunion, because it seems like Virginia has some tea about an ex-girlfriend. Devin is talking about, I feel like you're trying to make a narrative about me. So it seems like they're not on good terms. And if they did try after the wedding, it didn't last very long. But yeah, I'm glad they ain't together. I'm glad they didn't get married. But I got to hear from you guys. Did you see it coming? I saw some comments basically saying that they didn't think that Virginia was serious about getting married to Devin like a couple episodes ago. But I feel like she was. I feel like she was trying to make it work. But I got to hear from you guys. What went wrong here? Why did Virginia say no? Was any of you guys rooting for them? Let me hear you guys' thoughts.